There's a lot of things coming up with San Diego State sports right now. A lot of things. So what better time for this man to join us in studio? Athletic Director J.D. Wicker is back on with the Cannons. J.D., we got to make this habit over and over. You should be here every week. I really venture that thought. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I wouldn't disagree with that. For some reason, I missed our Friday call.
Woof.
Maybe I'll take that one. So,
and Coach Martinez,
so that
you
would
heard
make
of us
sense
on Thursday. Yeah,
for me to be here every week on Fridays. Apparently.
Now, what did you make of Coach Martinez coming on our show? And we didn't say anything, and he just jumped right in about the Cannon Karma, claiming that if we went to every Aztecs baseball game this year, they would be the first undefeated team in NCAA history.
I am excited for y'all to test that theory. You know, we are an institution of higher learning who is looking to expand its research into Mission Valley. You might have heard about that. But we could expand the Cannon Karma research with a baseball season, 56-game schedule. I'm sure Mark would love to travel you guys to wherever it is, and we can do the shows from wherever it might be.
I can see where Cannon Karma will become a major offered in the life sciences at San Diego State once Measure G makes it, and all that comes to fruition. How are you feeling about it? 9 days away.
8 days away.
8 days away.
Yeah,
today's Monday. Yeah.
Less than 8, technically, I guess. Yeah. We're between 8 and 7. It's exciting. It's been a long time coming. This has been a lot of work. I've been here just a little. It's not quite 2 years and 1 week since I was named athletic director, and it's pretty much been Mission Valley since the day I walked in the door. So I'm excited for it to be here. All of the hard work that a lot of people on campus and in this community that truly care about San Diego State University have put into developing a great SDSU Mission Valley plan, and then providing us an opportunity on the ballot to potentially move forward with that plan here quickly.
I think that for anybody that's still on the bubble, and obviously we're talking about Measure G, remember good versus evil, yes on G, no on E, a week from tomorrow, and a needed 50% plus one, or simply more votes than Measure E. Again, we tried to dispel everything that Measure E is saying against Measure G, and one of the things is a certain timetable. Everybody in San Diego is anxious. We remember when PECO got approved and there was a 2-year delay in that project. We're just used to it in San Diego, JD. So give us a timetable. If all goes as planned a week from tomorrow and Measure G passes, what are we looking at? What's a timetable when we're going to see that new Aztec Stadium in Mission Valley?
As we've sat down and talked about it with our consultants and the various folks, our goal is we'll start negotiating with the city council and the mayor immediately after the election, should we have that opportunity. And we figure that's, roughly 12 to 14 months. So we figure right around the beginning of 2020, we would have a sales agreement finalized with the city of San Diego for the Board of Trustees to approve. At the same time, on a parallel track, we'll be doing our CEQA process. So that's the environmental process where we're looking at traffic mitigation. We're looking at all the environmental factors, everything that we need to do to make sure we're meeting the needs of the community, and we make Mission Valley still a valuable place to go to. And, we're the only ones doing CEQA. Let's make sure we're clear on that. So we figure that takes about that same amount of time. So hopefully around the first part of 2020, the Board of Trustees is also approving our environmental impact report. So once those two things happen, we put a shovel in the ground for a stadium and a river park. So we figure first quarter of 2020 to put a shovel in the ground for the stadium and the river park, which means the river park will be developing as you go through those next couple of years, and then we plan on a stadium being open sometime in summer to fall of 2022. So we'd kick off an Aztec football season in 2022.
I was going to say, and just to follow up, again, not everyone is paying the kind of attention we have to all this. So where exactly in proximity to Sdcu Stadium will the new Aztec Stadium be?
So the new Aztec Stadium will go up in the northwest corner, which is adjacent to IKEA Costco and up against Friars Road. It allows us to build it up there without impacting Sdcu, so the Aztecs can continue playing there. while we're building out the new stadium. And then as soon as we complete the new stadium, you knock Sdsu down and grind it up and take the big mound of dirt it sits on, and you spread that out across the site to get your developable area, and you start with your residential and campus and mixed-use retail soon after. So 2022, 2023, you've got your vertical coming out of the ground with everything else.
For those of you playing along at home, ask STEC Athletic Director J.D. Wicker in studios. You would walk directly south out of the fire station on Friars Road, and you will hit the new stadium. JD, you know, we've talked about the NFL wishes still going on in San Diego, and nothing happens until a new structure is built. We know that Measure G provides an expandable stadium for the Aztecs and whatnot. Have you had any conversation, though, with commissioners, fellow athletic directors, let's say in the Big 12, anybody else in the Power 5 conferences, are they keeping an eye on what San Diego State is doing as far as the new project is concerned?
You know, one of the nice things in college athletics, there's a listserv. It's a guy who puts out every morning most articles across the country related to college athletics. It's called the D1 ticker. Whether it's good or bad, I'm in the D1 ticker on a weekly basis. So pretty much everyone across the country knows what's happening in San Diego, which is a good thing. And obviously I've taken the opportunity to, you know, when I've seen those people at various events or conventions or conferences, to have those discussions as well. So people are very cognizant of everything that's happening in San Diego around SDSU, Mission Valley, and a new stadium for the Aztecs.
And when you look at the strength of this athletic department that you head up, great success of the baseball team, beautiful facility. The basketball team, we're going to get into the basketball season coming up here shortly. It's just the one missing piece. And as we said before, this isn't a football program that is bad and making the claim that, oh, well, if we had a new stadium, we would be better. No, this is a program under Rocky Long that has earned the stadium on the field with their success. And this makes it a very different dynamic, JD, for a lot, because, you know, it goes back to even the Padres back in the day when they were trying to sell us on Petco. Well, we'll be so much better if we just got a ballpark. And we hear it around there. Well, if we just got a stadium, we would be that much better. Not the same thing with the Aztecs. The Aztecs have been doing what they're doing despite the fact they haven't been afforded the facilities that other elite programs have in this country.
Yeah, I mean, you know, one important thing is it's a stadium for San Diego State football, absolutely. But this stadium makes San Diego better.
Yes.
This stadium is built to accommodate professional soccer, international soccer matches, concerts, rugby, whatever it might be. And yes, building this stadium will help Aztec athletics, not only the football program, grow, but the idea is that you build a stadium that then generates revenue that comes back to the athletic department that helps track, that helps men's basketball, that helps soccer, whatever it may be. And I mean, and we'll be able to play soccer matches in there. We'll be able to play some lacrosse in there as well. There's so many opportunities that this stadium will afford us. And the site as a whole, SDSU growing and continuing to move up the U.S. News and World Report rankings and all these, all the different rankings and metrics, and continuing to grow the number of people in the GPA coming up. Presidents who are making decisions on adding teams to conferences or whatever the NCAA is going to look like in 10 years, they look at schools and they want like institutions. They want institutions that take academics seriously. And, you know, we're catching the bottom of the Pac-12 right now. You know, we would probably be, 9 or 10 in the Pac-12 right now from an academic standpoint. So that's very important for this institution to continue growing along with our athletic success.
I was surprised, pleasantly surprised at every group that has come out and endorsed Measure G. We both know there's a ton of alums here in the city of San Diego and in Southern California. I thought there would be a decent number. I didn't think there would be as many as there are. Did that shock you a little bit?
No, because again, I mean, I think people recognize that the expansion of higher education is most important for a city. You look at what we're, $5.67 billion economic impact, but then you look at the leaders across the city in business, in government, and then the number of nurses and teachers that that we graduate as well. And the other thing is, I think that those groups recognize that the other plan does in no way accommodate San Diego State, nor does it meet the needs of San Diego State University today, tomorrow, 10 years, 50 years, 100 years from now. The other plan does not meet our needs or accommodate us. So they recognize that Measure G gives San Diego State the opportunity to develop the SDSU Mission Valley plan and keep this community, moving.
Aztecs Athletic Director J.D. Wicker in studio with us. Basketball, hoops. We feel like we had a little bit to do with that tremendous run at the end of the season. Well, we like to take all the credit. I still remember.
I pat myself on my back.
We were just sitting there. Boise State was at the VA Haas, and I walk in before Costa did, and who's the first face I see? J.D. Wicker. And he's all over me like, we got to do something. I was hopeful. I was 100% confident, but it turned out it was the beginning of a tremendous run. A couple of things. First of all, as far as regular season, a week from tomorrow, Arkansas Pine Bluff, ironically, on Election Day, out of VA Haas, will be the unveiling of the Mountain West Conference Championship banner as well as the NCAA tournament banner. But first, on Thursday at VA Haas, an exhibition game against Chaminade. How excited are you, JD, to get another basketball season? Coach Dutch, obviously, year 2 as the head man underway.
It's going to be exciting to see all the new faces. Obviously, we lost some great players, and Trey and Malik, but some great new kids coming in. The Mensahs, who are not brothers but share the same last name. And get to see Jalen and Matt Mitchell again in their sophomore seasons, and then we've got 2 senior guards. And Jeremy and Devin, who are going to provide some good leadership. And, I think it's Aztec fans should be really excited about what this team's going to be able to do. And Chaminade obviously offers something that, sometimes in an exhibition you don't always see. Chaminade's beat some people before.
Well, we know when they beat #1 Virginia way back in Ralph Sampson back in the. I was actually working an overnight shift at a radio station that night in the old wire service, JD.
Yep.
And the story came across. It didn't make sense.
No.
It was like one of those, like, this either is a typo or maybe it's women's basketball. Chaminade had beaten #1 ranked Virginia. Yep. So, yeah, they're always capable.
Only 500 tickets left, by the way, if you want to go out there Thursday night for the exhibition. One thing that I really, as an alum, take pride in is the fact now that so many of the sports programs at San Diego State have a bullseye on their back. Where most of the time it was always, the gutty little Aztecs, maybe they'll win, maybe they won't. But now when you look at the success across the board of everybody up there on the Mesa, the fact that they're the big dog, everybody wants to bring down.
Yeah, it's you want to be the team with the bullseye on your back that people are chasing. I mean, that means you're winning 41 conference championships since the 12-13 academic year. That you're being successful, that you've got great coaches and great student athletes. And, again, I'm proud of our academic success, too. Over 60% of our student athletes are scholar athletes. And so we're doing it in the classroom. We're doing it on the field of play. And it's something that all SDSU alums and the community of San Diego as a whole should be very proud of.
The vote is a week from tomorrow. I feel like you need to be here next week with us the day before, because you know how people are, JD. I mean, it sort of sneaks up on you, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, and they just sort of like, what's on the ballot? We assume everyone is focused, and they're just not. But this is really going to come out to turnout, because it's not because a lot of people just look at a lot of these measures, they don't read them through, and they just go, no, 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 no. And that can happen. And we talked about the amazing depth of endorsements for Measure G. Unprecedented. This is a city united behind one of their greatest resources, San Diego State University, behind something that, as you mentioned, JD, isn't just a benefit to the university. This is a much-needed shot in the arm for this city. We desperately need this.
Yeah, it's great to see the Sierra Club and the Lincoln Club, so the left and the right, came together, had a joint press conference, and then had a joint fundraiser. I mean, that's talk about bipartisan, and then reaching across the aisle, whatever it might be. You may not ever see that happen again with those two groups. So, again, excited that so many people have recognized what's happening. And I mean, it'll just be great to do something with the Sdcu Qualcomm Jack Murphy San Diego Stadium site and know where we're headed long term, and that it's going to be something that's truly going to benefit the community of San Diego. It's going to benefit the San Diego River. It benefits Mission Valley. It benefits our children, grandchildren, whoever it may be down the road.
All right. Well, JD, want to thank you for coming on by. Love your scarf, by the way.
Thank you.
That is very styling out there.
I am Sdsu.
I am Sdsu.
Hello.
And by the way, one other final note. That was a heck of a Friday night we had out of the stadium out there in the. Is that confirmed now that that is the only Aztecs football game that was ever delayed during a game?
In San Diego. In San Diego.
Got
to be.
Yeah.
There had to be something about our presence there that made that happen. I'm not sure. We did get the W.
We did, and that's the most important thing. But I take you back to the pregame show when a certain athletic director. I'm not going to mention any names, but his initials are J.D. Wicker. Said it's not going to rain.
Well, then you try to turn it on us. You're texting us saying, I thought you guys we said, whoa. All we said is when you sat down with us before the game, a ray of sunlight just flashed on your face, and we thought, hey, we're good.
God's chosen.
We're good out there.
I felt really good about it. I mean, I go into every game. I mean, we go into every game saying we're going to win.
You're right.
Every game's going to be 70 and sunny. I live in San Diego.
That was just an unbelievable night. But it turned out to be an Aztec victory, and that's all that matters.
All that matters.
That's what we want. A victory, by the way, for Sdsu West. Measure G a week from tomorrow. JD, always great to see you. Thanks so much for stopping by.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
Thanks,
there he is, JD Wicker, Athletic Director of San Diego State University. So, yeah, we're getting close to Election Day, folks. Very close. A week from tomorrow.
And again, there's a lot on this. There's a lot not only riding for San Diego State, but there's a lot going down in this vote on November 6th. You are going to have, when you go to your polling place, 2 long cards. Normally it's 1, it's 2 of them. And you have to remember, there's a lot of important things, but if you're at all tied to San Diego State University, San Diego, what's best for the city of San Diego, you have to remember, you have to cast 2 votes. Yes, G, good for San Diego. No, E, evil, empty promises. Some other words that begin with E that I could turn into a curse word, but I won't.
Yes.
So that's the key right there.
All right. Yes on G, no on E. Yes on G, no on E. A week from tomorrow.
Simple.
Vote. Don't listen to the polls. I know the polls look favorable. Polls don't mean anything. The only poll that matters is the vote.
Come on.
Okay, so ignore that. You got to get out. Yes on G, no on E. And don't forget basketball. Chaminade Thursday out there at Viejas. And then a week from tomorrow, on Election Day no less, open the regular season, Arkansas Pine Bluff. The unveiling of yet another banner at Viejas. Mountain West Conference champions, NCAA tournament. Another great basketball season heading for Dutch as well.